Damn, chill, you got another one?
What's poppin'? You already know the deal. You are now rockin' with no chill for real. We about to get ill. What did you expect for me to bow down, get soft and talk politically correct? They consider me a threat, especially if they goofy, cause I clown guys, no lies, I just do it truthfully. It's on the house like Snoopy, it's free in other words. I'm a nightmare to these super squares and nerds. I barbecue 'em with words when I'm through commentating. One thing you'll never see me ever do is hating, lying, exaggerating, or fabricating for views. If you not built for the street like a pair of shoes, as square as a Rubik's Cube, stop it and leave the field, or wind up a topic on no chill for real. You square as a Rubik's Cube, stop it and leave the field, or wind up a topic on no chill for real. All gas, no brakes. Gotta keep the pressure on these cowards and these snakes. Honor over money, gotta do what it takes. Gotta keep the pressure on these cowards and these snakes.
Gotta stay going in.
All gas, no brakes. Gotta keep the pressure on these cowards and these snakes. Honor over money, gotta do what it takes. Gotta keep the pressure on these cowards and these snakes. Say what's poppin'? You are now rocking with no chill for real. I'm not your doctor, and I don't care how you feel. So for those out there who may not know, I also have another channel. It's called No Chill for Real. And on that channel, I do things that I like, that I find funny, or that I find interesting. And also I do things that are unrelated to prison, right? So if you are not subscribed, go tap in. You will find videos like this on my other channel, No Chill for Real. Like I said, I'm doing things. It's going to be like a smorgasbord, things unrelated to prison, man. So I'm just dropping it on this channel to drive a little traffic that way. But in this video, man, Flakko, Poetik Flakko, has identified individuals and certain gangs he says that is connected and involved in the shooting that happened at the Marathon Burger in March, which of course is a hamburger establishment that was opened by Black Sam, the brother of Nipsey Hussle, man. So I'm not gonna lie, in this particular video right here, Flakko has some very damning videos and evidence, and he may just be on point in this one. So anyway, let's get to this video. Let's check it out. You are now rocking with No Chill for Real. Go subscribe. No, I have not changed the intro. That is the intro for my other channel. Now let's go.
Somebody said, well, they're fighting outside, but it looked like it was, you know, a real, whatever was going on, it was really serious.
When it initially happened, I came out with my report documenting what took place at Marathon Burger. Others came out with what they believe took place at Marathon Burger. But for the most part, there's been very little activity on this situation and on this case for 5 months. It's been pretty hush and hush, right? But that ends now, all right? There are murder indictments coming down on 3 different gangs, the Insane Crips, the Rolling 80s, and the Hoovers, and more specifically, the A-Tray Hoovers. Currently, none of these people are currently in custody, so this will probably be breaking news for a lot of people. This will probably be the first time they find out they're going to be arrested soon on murder charges. And I mean, good luck. All right. You know, I'm not arresting you guys, right? I ain't the police. I'm just a journalist, right? And I'm doing my job as a journalist. Right?
Now, suddenly he's doing his job as a journalist, right? And this is just my personal opinion. Suddenly he has scaled back his disrespectful rhetoric when he's, you know, addressing videos in relation to these gang members. Right now, I understand you have a lot of individuals who disagree with the actions of gang members, and I disagree with some of my own actions myself, to keep it 100, right? But this is one of the individuals who just really rubs me the wrong way at times, right? It seems like when this dude is talking about gang members, it seems to me that there is a deeper hatred there. I almost get the feeling that he despises Black people. It's crazy, right? And so to me, I seen him a while ago, a couple of days ago. I seen a brief interaction he had with an individual. The name of the channel, I believe, was The Amazing Lucas, and The Amazing Lucas was tearing this dude a new backside about being a Black individual, supporting Trump, and a lot of different issues. What I felt, he was accusing this dude of basically his anti-Blackness, right? And so I've never seen the dude stuttering, muttering, and apologizing like he was, right? And so I think that possibly that's why he's taking this new approach. That's just my opinion, though.
All right. So, for whoever is named in this video, right? I hope you get some good lawyers and good luck fighting this case, my brother, because you going to jail, and you going to jail very soon. Here's the full story of what took place at the Marathon Burger that day. 3 members of the Rolling 80 Crips, Malik Pryor, his twin brother Tariq Pryor, and their associate Brian Lofton went to the grand opening of the Marathon Burger. When they got there, they quickly realized they had some enemies in the building, right? They were feuding with another notorious gang out of Long Beach called the Insane Crips. Now, there were tension almost from the very beginning, right? It was hostile. So they up and left the Marathon Burger briefly. When they left the Marathon Burger, they walked back to Malik's car. His car was parked on the street, like to the side. So Malik got to his car first. As you see Malik right here, he goes around the vehicle, opens up the car, goes in the car, and grabs a hoodie. Now, he grabs the hoodie and begins to change his clothes up. Now, Malik will ultimately change into a hoodie and some sunglasses. Now, it was about 82 degrees in Long Beach at this particular time, so he didn't take off his clothes to put on a hoodie to be more comfortable. Him changing into the sunglasses and the hoodie was very intentional, but they all 3 went back to Marathon Burger after Malik grabbed what he wanted to grab from out of the car.
Now, sometimes during this video, the sound goes out right, but let me just say this, man, to the young gang members and the pole toters out there that's watching, you know what I'm saying? This is not the 80s. This is not the 90s where you can do spontaneous gang banging when you see an individual that you consider your op. You are no longer able to hop out and get cracking. These dudes are downtown Long Beach. I mean, I know when I was out there, I was young and I was kind of wild, but I was never this unaware and game goofy of what's going on. You cannot be outside in today's society, downtown especially. There's cameras everywhere. You can no longer commit crimes being impulsive or just being spontaneous. And I hate to say this, but nowadays, if you're going to commit a crime, you have to plan it. You cannot first and foremost be in any type of car or vehicle that can be traced back to you or somebody else who is going to identify you when the police come put the squeeze. It's just, you're just begging to go to jail, man. And it's a sad situation, man. If what Flakko is saying is true, man, this is these dudes have a lot of evidence against them. And I think this is part of the video where it's silent. So it's nothing wrong with the video for whatever reason. When Flakko uploaded the video, it's just no sound at certain parts. So I'll do a little talking during those parts. You see these dudes, headed back now up towards Marathon Burger. And it's cold because you pretty much have a minute by minute frame of everything that's happened.
When they went back to the Marathon Burger, Black Sam was quickly alerted that there was tension in the building. Right, the Rolling 80s and the Insane Crips were in the same building. There was tension. There was words thrown back and forth. And it's probably best that Black Sam steps in to try to fix the situation. Black Sam is Nipsey Hussle's brother. He's the owner of the Marathon Burger. So, but Black Sam, being a respected street dude, stepped in and tried to mediate the situation.
Talking to them. Hendrix, those 2 guys, all these homies right here, they don't want them here. I don't know if they're from another hood, but that's what it looks like. So they don't want them here. Yeah, he's talking to them. Yeah, he's talking to them. Getting it.
In the video, you could see Black Sam literally pleading with them to just leave because they were surrounded by the Insane Crips. They were drastically outnumbered. Like, it was like 10-1. It was.
Now, let me just interject real quick and say that I thought a little bit about potentially not doing this video, right? Because he's got all these dudes up here with their names and this and that. But, right, the fact of the matter is, this Flakko, his video gets a tremendous amount of views, way more than mine will ever get. I'm not bringing this to the internet. I'm just merely reacting to what's out there. Whether I react to it or not, this is up, this is out there, this information is out there. And it's going to be at least another 20 channels who react to this type of information. So for the simple-minded individuals who may say, hey, chill, you know, you're doing this or doing that, this stuff is already on the internet, man. I'm just reacting to what's already out there. None of this stuff was put together by me or whatever.
There's like 3 of them and like 30 to 40 insane Crips just in the building. So Black Sam understood the dynamics and understood how much danger they were in. Out of the 30 or 40 insane Crips that were present at the Marathon Burger grand opening, the ones that have been identified on camera is Donovan Holcomb, Royal Hugan, Kevin Moore, Jordan Bumphis. Now, Jordan Bumphis, his picture is circled because he's very important and very crucial in this murder homicide investigation. Tajon Hill, Tyjair Hill, Ryder Huglin, Kamari Jones, and Christopher Thorne. Now, Tyjair Hill and Kamari Jones, they've been circled because they're also very crucial in this murder investigation as well. The insane Crips already outnumbered the Rolling 80s by like 10 to 1, maybe 15 to 1, but it got even worse for the Rolling 80s because the insane Crips had their allies at the Marathon Burger as well. Kamari Jones got a relationship with Kareem Jones, who's from A. Trey Hoover's. So the A. Trey Hoovers was riding with the insane Crips as well. So now the Rolling 80s, like 3 or 4 deep, is looking at, you know, in opposition, right, in a man force of 40 to 50 that they might have to go up against if they stay at the Marathon Burger. If you look at the video more closely of Black Sam talking to Tariq Pryor and Brian Lofton, you see Kevin Moore, the insane Crip, right here. Now, he's giving directions to somebody off camera, but they're literally surrounded right now by insane Crips. Like it's Brian is Tariq, the Rolling 80s, literally surrounded by a gang of insane Crips. Now, if you move over right here, what you see is Malik. So Malik is right here as his brother is talking to Black Sam. Malik got his eyes on Kevin Moore, the insane Crip. Now, Malik got his hands in his pocket, which would indicate that Malik got a gun, right? Malik got a gun on him. So he's watching right now, trying to figure out what's going on, okay? So once Black Sam convinced them, okay, listen, man, y'all surrounded, y'all got to go, they agreed. Once they agreed to leave.
I'm not going to lie, man. You know, it seems like Flakko has a lot of this stuff mapped out. And like I said, once again, man, we have a visual play-by-play of what went on, right? And so if this does come to be put in front of a jury, man, it doesn't look good. It's going to be hard to do anything, to be quite honest. Anything if you're part of the defense team, especially for the individuals that they're accusing to be the shooter, it's going to be hard to do anything except for take a plea bargain. It's a lot of evidence that they have mapped out.
Black Sam gathered up a bunch of dudes and they began to escort the Rolling 80s from off the Marathon Burger premises. So as they're walking away, I began to realize something. When I'm looking at the footage, their car was parked on the street in the other direction. Black Sam was supposed to be escorting them to their vehicle. They told Black Sam their vehicle was in the garage, but their vehicle was actually parked on the street in the opposite direction. So Black Sam and a bunch of dudes is walking them to the garage. The insane Crips is following behind. And when they get to the garage, Malik Pryor speeds up and goes in the garage first. Tariq Pryor stays behind and he is slowly walking. Malik Pryor hurries up and go to the garage first, and he waits for Tariq Pryor to come in the garage, for Brian Lofton to come in the garage. They're taking their time. Now, as they get to the entrance of the garage, all hell broke loose. Right at this moment, right when Tariq Pryor gets to the garage entrance, Jordan Bumphis punches him. Jordan Bumphis is from Insane Crip. Tariq Pryor is one of the 3 Rolling 80s. Now, as soon as the punch happens, everybody begins to swarm Tariq Pryor. But like I stated before, Malik Pryor has sped up and was already in the garage. So as everybody is pushing forward, gunshot starts to go off and everybody begins to run out. The person you see running out the garage is Kareem Jones. That's the A. Trey Hoover. And he was actually grazed by gunshots, if not hit directly. But Kareem, aka Treyway 7, aka Chucky Finster, was not the only one shot that day.
Now that name Chucky Finster, I'm familiar with that name, and the reason that I'm familiar with that name is through a video Flakko himself made in relation to this whole situation several months ago. In that video, Flakko is despising and talking very negative and disrespectful about gang members, with the exception of the one he called Chucky Finster. In that video, he refers to him as the general or some royal term he bestows upon that dude, right? And it trips me out because at different times, Flakko seems to be on different sides of the roads in relation to gang members, right? He's talking about how he hates all gang members, and then with the exception of this guy, I guess, and then at times, he's talking bad about them. You see him saying that they're the scum of the earth, and then other times you'll catch Flakko Crip walking, throwing up gang signs. He got blue rags and red rags on his head. At times, yeah, he's mocking, but it seems like he wants to play with the culture and he wants to be a part of it when it's convenient. At other times, he acts like he really despises it. And I'm just saying he needs to pick a side of the road and stay there. You can't be a gang member or pretend to be a gang member when it's convenient. And so that's my main issue with him. I've seen him taunting individuals, threatening to call the police, and just all this type of ridiculous stuff.
The same Crip member called Kamari Jones was also shot. Now, he was put in critical condition, but he ultimately survived. The only gunshot victim who died from his injuries was Brian Lofton. Brian Lofton was shot in the head and died at the scene. Brian Lofton was one of 3 Rolling 80 Crips, and the shooter was the other Rolling 80 Crip, Malik Pryor. Now, Malik Pryor accidentally shot his own friend, his own padre, in the head, Brian Lofton. Now, I don't think this was intentional. I think it was accidental, right? I think Malik Pryor was very reckless with how he was shooting and just began to shoot at who he thought was advancing on him. And Brian Lofton just happened to be nearby and he got shot in the head. Unfortunately for Malik, he don't get to scream self-defense because of his actions that day. He went to the vehicle to grab the gun and grab a hoodie and grab sunglasses to conceal his identity. When they were supposed to be walking them to their car, they intentionally led them to a garage where they weren't parked. They had no cars in that garage. They weren't parked in that garage, but they led them to the garage. Malik sped up and waited in the garage with his pistol. And as people advanced in the garage, he began to shoot. Now, that was clearly intentional. That was clearly premeditated. That was not accidental, because if they were supposed to walk into your car, then you would just walk them to your car. You wouldn't walk them to a garage where you feel like there's no cameras and you could do this. Now, when shots rang off, police were about like a couple feet away. So police got to the scene almost immediately.
Now, once again, that is a argument that the prosecution just may in fact use. There'll be no self-defense because the prosecution is gonna portray this as a gang situation, right? A lot of people love to say that, they have guns for self-defense, but the majority of individuals, man, keep guns to be the aggressor. They talking about stay dangerous and things of that nature, right? And the reason the self-defense goes out the window, because just like Flakko said, if these dudes had felt endangered, or that their lives was potentially endangered, when they walked away and went to that vehicle, they would have left, right? And so this is the exact picture that the prosecution is going to paint. And so, anytime the prosecution can make the jury believe it is a gang-related situation, there is no self-defense, right? And so, I may have said it earlier, I may have not, but the only real solution for anybody who gets accused and arrested and took to trial for being the shooter in this situation is to take a deal. That's if they'll offer you a deal, because they have a lot of evidence that's going to easily win them a conviction. And this may be during the time, like I said, a lot of the sound for whatever reason is out on this video, right? And so people don't understand when you're doing a reaction video, you can't just upload somebody else's content and let the content play. That's why some certain YouTubers end up getting a strike. When you are reacting to someone else's content, you have to stop, you have to interject, you can comment, you can critique, you can give your opinion, right? So you have some people complaining like, hey man, chill, you talk too much, or these other guys talk too much. But in order to react to somebody's content along the fair use guidelines, you must change the property of the content. If you want to watch the original video, go watch the original video.
Hey, flat on his stomach! Flat on his stomach! We got one person down, and we have possibly 4 shots. I'm the DJ, bro. Hands in the back! Hands in the back! Hey, more people! Over here! Hey, back up! Back up!
I'm just the DJ. Hey, I'm just the DJ.
Hey!
I was walking back to you.
Now we just heard shots.
Can you help me up? Hey, bro.
Back up, back up.
Can you help me up? I was just walking on my car.
Back up. Hey!
By the time the police got to the parking garage, Malik was already gone. And he was able to escape that fast because he jumped like through some structure 8 foot to the fire escape. It's as if he had this already mapped out and planned with how quickly he thought. Now, he made a very big mistake because he left the murder weapon at the scene. Like, he dropped the murder weapon, he dropped everything, and he darted it out. It's as if he already had an escape plan because he was able to get away fast as heck. The police was at the scene within like 10 seconds and he was already gone. This is the 8-foot jump to get to the fire escape, that Malik took to get away from the police. And this is the murder weapon that was left behind at the scene. Right, so this was recovered at the scene. So it looks like he dropped the murder weapon, then jumped to the fire escape and went back to his vehicle. It just feels like this was already mapped out in his head, right? Because
now look, I guess that's the alleged fire weapon, right? And I'm just keeping it 100, man. There is no way on God's green earth you cannot be Malik and not see this video that Flakko has made and your heart be beating 1,000 miles an hour. If any of this is true, if this is the murder weapon, they got that murder weapon. They're gonna do a ballistics test. They're gonna match that stuff up. And once again, this is just more evidence to get a guilty verdict on that dude, man. You have, listen, premeditated murder. That's what they got, man. A lot of people think that premeditation has to be 3 or 4 days in advance. No, I know from personal experience, right? This is what the prosecution alleged, that I got into a fight or an individual approached me at a party, punched me. I spent a round, grabbed my weapon and started shooting. Just in those 2-3 seconds of me thinking about grabbing the weapon and shooting, the prosecution alleged was premedited. I was found guilty of the premeditation, and that's what got me the life sentence in a situation where even though an individual was shot in the head, he didn't pass away. He wasn't unalive. And so I got 9 years for the great bodily injury. And then I got a separate life sentence for the premeditation attempted murder of the individual they were saying that I was trying to shoot, who was not even hurt in that incident. So the mere charge of premeditation, if you're found guilty of that, carries a life sentence. So, I mean, when I see situations like this, man, first thing that comes to mind is, unfortunately, another dude who has thrown his life away. And once again, all this stuff is caught on tape. There's no defense. You have dudes out there who want to say, oh, man, there is no defense, man. In this day and age, you cannot run around all willy-nilly pulling pistols out downtown anywhere, much less like a big cities like Los Angeles, Long Beach, Chicago, wherever. It's cameras everywhere.
Because why not just go directly to your vehicle and go home? For those who missed it, this is the full replay. So it started off where they were walking to the parking garage. Jordan Bumphis attacked Tariq Pryor. And then Malik Pryor, he shot Treyway 7, he shot Kamari Jones, and he also shot his own friend. All right. Now, also, Taj Hill, which is the insane Crip, Taj Hill will also be responsible for attacking the victim before his death. Now, what I was told was this is going to be a multi-indictment. Like, a lot of people is getting arrested for this, right? Because crimes were taking place or crimes were in commission when a murder happened. So they also is going down. Now, I don't know for what, but I do know there's going to be at least, like 8 to 10 arrests, right, from this particular situation. I don't know exactly when the arrests are being made, but what I do know is this is the 100% truth. This is the factual story of exactly what took place at the Marathon Burger. And right, I guess we can like lay dead the narratives down that, that I was lying or anybody was lying.
And so once again, man, listen, the prosecution has a play-by-play video, visual of what happened for the jury. So this is an ugly situation now. Initially, my first thoughts were nobody's really going to be in trouble but the shooter, right? Because when I came to prison back in the 90s or whatever, there was something that was called the felony murder rule, right? And I think something else also, the provocative murder act or whatever. But basically what it was is if me and a friend happen to go in the store and try to only with plans on robbing the liquor store, the owner of the liquor store pulls out a gun, shoots and kills my friend. I would then be charged with the murder of my friend. And I've seen many dudes get charged with that, right? Recently, I believe January 1st, 2019, they changed and overturned that law. So now you have to go somewhere with the intention of killing them. If you just go somewhere with the intention of robbing and you are not the shooter, you can no longer be charged with the murder. So that rule has been changed, right? But the bad thing about this is then it dawned on me as well. They also have the gang enhancements, right? And this is the bad part about individuals claiming gangs when the police pull them over or doing things that they can be recognized and documented as gang members on their Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff now, because the prosecution can potentially argue that those individuals advancing on those dudes who initially attacked the first group, they done that as an act to basically advance the name of the gang, right? And so if the prosecution can slide it in there and make it seem like all this stuff is gang related, and then you will have some individuals who are also in trouble, right? There's no way your name cannot be named in this video and you not be somewhere shaken and nervous. At times in the past, we have seen Flakko be way off on the things that he's talking, right? Way off on the individuals that he's naming in certain crimes. But with this one, he has a video and visual play-by-play, and I definitely think that what he's saying in this video in terms of there will be eventually charges coming down, I believe that will definitely happen because it's right here in front of us. But anyway, man, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.